Do I prefer to commentate or stream? I think I'd like them both for different reasons. Like, I definitely can't do this on broadcast. I can't be telling people to go f themselves all the time, you know what I mean? Which would be great on broadcast, in my opinion. But, you know, it's different kinds of fun. I don't know why I always pick up the second thing of shotgun shells. Like, I'm never going to use them. He was on his knees, the poor guy. He's like, please, sir, I've got a family. I can never quite tell where enemies are in this joint. There's one. The night is dark and full of terrors, especially in this map, dude. I've said this a million times. If nighttime sounded like this, I would never go outside. I mean, I rarely go outside. Hello. Surprise! I think I can loot the rest of this place. I'm always afraid of Vikendi because you never know. The map moves so slowly, like there could be someone just chilling anywhere still. Okay, here's one for you. So this one time I was working at what was called the Back Alley, a nightclub, another notoriously violent nightclub. I seem to pick those ones very, very well. I'm very good at identifying the most dangerous places to work and being like, yes, I would like to work here. So this one night was particularly bad. We kicked these couple of guys out, and you know, they try and scrap with us a little bit at the door. You know, I basically embarrassed these two knuckleheads because they're drunk. Like the thing is guys, is like it's not super badass to like own a drunk guy because they're basically children. Like they're big, wobbly babies with too much aggression. So manhandle these two knuckleheads, and they start freaking out like they're gonna ram the front door with their truck. So in Alberta, just for context, lots of rig pigs, and rig pigs are like guys who work on oil rigs, come down with all their money, get blasted for a couple of weeks, and then go back and work for another 2 weeks or whatever. Anyway, so these guys like jump in their truck, and in their drunken stupor, like like it's a big truck, like it's a big rig idiot truck. And they, in their stupor, crank the wheel to drive towards us. And we're all standing behind like cement barriers. Like I'm like, these guys are gonna mess their truck up and it's gonna be hilarious. So, so they crank the wheel to the right, but they're backed into the stall. So what they end up doing is like monster trucking this Camaro that's parked next to them. Like he drove over the front of this Camaro. And, you know, at that point they've realized what they've done and they try to like escape. So they like come out of the parking lot, hit a taxi cab who's also parked, and drive away. Okay, so we're all sitting at the front door like, oh my god, like what a bunch of idiots. And then the cops come and we're telling the cops like, this is what they're driving, this is what they look like, here's a picture one of us took of them. And they're like, okay, cool. Like an hour goes by and I'm standing at the front door checking IDs, and this guy from the truck walks up to me and he's like, hey man, I left my jacket. I was like, yeah, where'd you leave? And he's like, it's in coat check. Also, there's this girl who's been texting me. Can I go and find her? I'm like, yes, you can. And I let him in the bar and I say to my buddy, I'm like, dude, that's the guy from the truck. So my buddy's like, okay. So he like walks over to the still parked cop car that's sitting there. And they're like, yeah, the guy just walked inside. So the cops come over with us and they're standing us with at the front door. And this guy rolls out with his jacket, and no girl because whatever. So he comes out with his jacket, and I was like, yeah, that's the guy. And the cops go over and they're like, what's your name? And he's like, David. Like he paused for a long time. A long time. And the cops were like, are you sure it's not Daniel? And he's like, that's what I said. Daniel. So they basically like, do you have your license? He's like, no, it's in my truck. And then he's like, I mean, my car. Like he's so dumb, man. Like he was so dumb. And they're like, yeah, what kind of truck do you drive? He's like, it's a, you know, he's just going through the rigmarole of like trying to evade questioning. And they're like, you know, we know all this. Like we know, like, where is your truck? And he's like, my friend has it. He's been driving it all night. He's trying to throw his buddy under the bus. Oh my God. So finally, like it turns out the truck is parked like across the street in the Tim Hortons parking lot or whatever. And yeah, the guy got arrested. And you know, I see someone call me a narc. He monster trucked some poor guy's Camaro who's just in there like having a good time, drinking or not drinking. And like the guy comes out and his truck is like, or his the front end of his Camaro is just ripped off. I'd be pretty pissed. I couldn't believe it. Like when I saw him standing in line, I'm like, are you f***ing joking me right now, dog? Like you coming all the way back here? I couldn't believe it. I was like, what do you do? What? So many, like drunk people have this weird, like, the one thing that bouncing taught me a lot is like human nature. Like when you watch people for like hours and hours and hours a day in like an environment, like what is equating to like mating season. Oh my God. I should show you guys like I have a Dropbox filled with photos from that time. I'll probably show you guys some one day, but sweet Jesus. Like watching a guy whose girlfriend is mad at him is so funny because you watch his spirit break over time. Like it'll start like the body language like, Denise, come on, it's not even that big of a deal. No, I didn't mean it, baby. Come on. No. And then like he'll get mad, like, you're being ridiculous. And then like over time, his body, his posture, like especially if they're not dating, like let's say he, like I always used to watch like the path of like someone who's trying to get laid. And like it would start looking pretty good, like they're dancing, they're drinking, like let me get you a drink, come on baby, like, you know, get you a little drink. Drinking, they're dancing, she's rubbing his butt on him and stuff like that. And then it's like getting later at night and she's like looking at her phone and her friends want to go and he's like feeling it slip away. He can feel the opportunity slipping away. I'm gonna keep the bullet loops and that's it. And yeah, dude, it's just so funny because they get to like, then that's when fights happen. That's when the fights happen because the guys will get all frustrated and like some other guy like that she knows will come over and be like, come on, dude, we're all gonna go over to Stacy's house. And he's like, back off, bro. He gets all pissed off. Next thing you know, there's a fight. Like I could see it coming. I could see it coming my way. Like these two guys are gonna scrap. And I'd stand there and what I would sometimes do is I'd walk by them and be like, don't do it. Don't do it. I'll choke you both out. What? We're just talking. This fucking game, dude. I'm dead. Man, I really dislike Vikendi. I really dislike Vikendi. Like, there's no way around it, man. Like, what a boring match. I hate that map, man. They need to fix the circles so badly.
When Moses and I moved in together, I complained one day about the backing. focus. Like, I cannot be entertaining if you're losing at the same time.
Go.
You're stealing my thunder. So Moses was kind enough to say, hey, I read this thing on the internet and I can help you. All you have to do is lay down on the bed. And so you need to keep in mind, my background is physiotherapy. So I know a thing or two about back issues, but I thought, you know, maybe, yay, $15 for chocolate. I got $15 for chocolate. Why did you're so mean. Okay. So I lay on my back. This was very rude. I lay on my back and he says, just bring your knees up. So everything makes sense from then on. And then he says, okay, now you're going to bring your arms towards me as if you were trying to grab my legs. So I do. And he's like, okay, now you have to close your eyes. I close my eyes and then I feel this very warm and damp material landing on my forehead. And I wasn't sure what was going on, so I opened my eyes. And if you don't see where I'm going with this, you're too young to be in the chat. I honestly thought he was gonna help me. You guys said you wouldn't laugh. You guys promised you would not laugh.
Warm and damp often get confused, by the way.
He's got sweaty balls.
Who doesn't?
But no, it was not a face cloth because I did open my eyes and then see, you know, everything. And you know what? He did not help me with my back issue.
I helped.
He did not help. That he teabagged me, started laughing when I opened my eyes and walked out of the room.